So your seat good? Get the mirrors all adjusted. You can see everything okay? Just stay off the freeways, all right? I don't want you going out on those yet. Just leave your phone in your purse. I don't want you texting, okay?
Daddy, okay.
Okay. There you go. Be careful.
Thanks, Dad.
Call me, but not while you're driving. We knew this day was coming. That's why we bought a Subaru.
And welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, July the 2nd, as we're marching right along towards the 4th of July. And we got two guests today. Let's start, first of all, with Brad Buchanan, Maplewood Barn Theatre. Good to have you here, Brad.
Good to see you, Paul.
You are the director of the production Adam's Eve, right?
Yes.
And because of 4th of July, you're actually opening one day earlier.
That's right.
On Wednesday, tonight.
Tonight, July the 2nd.
All right. Tell me about Adam's Eve.
Okay, it's a delightful little comedy with a religious theme, but it's really just a zany comedy. If anybody comes looking for deep religious meaning...
You're not going to find it?
Not going to find it, but hopefully they'll be laughing so hard they won't care.
Okay, so if you're looking for deep religious meaning in Adam's Eve, this production, it's not going to be there.
It's not going to be there.
But it's going to be a good production.
Oh, it's really funny. I got the most fabulous cast for this, Paul. Everybody plays their characters so well, and there are just so many jokes. My only fear is that people will be laughing so hard they're going to miss the next joke.
Okay, so what's the storyline?
Okay, the storyline, it all takes place here in Columbia. It's a young sports writer who's working for a local newspaper.
Okay. One of our local newspapers.
Right.
Okay.
The entire set is dressed in Mizzou stuff. There are Gary Pinkel jokes. There are Kansas Jayhawks jokes.
Wait a minute. So this is a local production?
This takes place in Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the setting is present day?
Present day.
Okay.
Yep. And a young man comes home one night and he goes to hang up his coat. He opens his closet door and this gorgeous, stunning young woman steps out of his closet and introduces herself as Eve. Well, his name happens to be Adam. Okay. And so it takes off from there. And he doesn't know whether this woman is for real or whether she's just a psycho that wound up in his closet. Or so in the second act, he winds up calling in the psychiatrist to try and figure out who this young lady is and what should be done with her.
Yeah. So she's there for the whole production.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Now, has this show, was it written, when was it written?
It was written about 7 years ago by a fellow up in Iowa named Matthew Harlan.
Has it played elsewhere?
It has. It has been played a few places. It's not a well-known show, which is one of the reasons we wanted to do it.
And wherever it plays is the setting of that particular hometown?
If the director decides to structure it that way, which we did.
Okay.
So it's all Mizzou.
Okay. And the newspaper that we're setting in?
It is the Columbia Tribune.
It's a Tribune?
Yes.
Not the Missourian? Okay.
No.
And does the Tribune know this?
No, and I'm friends with Andy Waters, so I should have told Andy that this was coming.
Okay.
But I hope he comes to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll love the publicity there. But if you want to see it, it opens tonight. It opens tonight at the Maplewood Barn Theatre, and instead of Thursday night, one night earlier, but you're running Wednesday, Thursday, then you skip Friday.
Right.
And you'll be on Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday.
And then next week too?
And then the following week it's Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
We
all
just
right.
skipped the 4th because we didn't want to fight the fireworks.
You got it. All right. Brad Buchanan, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, Paul.
Our next guest is Heather Harlan from the Phoenix House. Good to have you here, Heather.
Great to be here.
And we were talking before we came on, July is what?
July, we have a focus on, at Phoenix Health Programs, on recovery means freedom.
Okay.
And so we've got July 4th coming up here in a few days.
Right.
So we use this as an opportunity to remind each other in our community and where we work that we tend to focus as behavioral health treatment. And Phoenix, of course, is a behavioral health center focusing on individuals and families that are seeking long-term recovery from substance use disorders, focusing on freedom from the compulsion to use alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. It's also a freedom from chaos and despair that a lot of the families and individuals who come to us for help experience. But we also want to look at the fact that it's a chronic health issue. We can see the way these chemicals change the brain. It would be like diabetes.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
One of the other segments is the fact that the earlier you start using drugs, it kind of it rewires the brain. Isn't that the term
exactly,
you use?
yeah.
It rewires the brain, and then it affects you for the rest of your life.
And so it's a chronic health issue. So we can see the way it changes the brain. Adolescent brains are much more vulnerable to these chemicals. But we also want to focus not just on freedom from something, but freedom for. Freedom for what? After that compulsion is removed, then freedom for what? And our program participants tell us that recovery just opens up avenues that they haven't been able to experience before, for positive time with families, a new job, saving for a car or a home, travel, improving their physical, mental, or spiritual health, all kinds of possibilities, so that when that compulsion was there, that they couldn't experience it.
Right.
And so really, treatment is about giving people tools to manage the environment in which the decision is made, whether or not they're going to use alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs.
Yeah. If someone has used tobacco from when they were very young, and let's say they're in middle age now, and they're stopping, is it too late for the brain to start reworking itself, or is that impairment still there?
No, I would just say it's all about extensive planning, whether it's tobacco or any other drug, extensive planning about how you're going to manage that environment. And I'll use Jay. Jay's an example of he happens to be a veteran who served our country in the Marine Corps. And Jay's about 50, drummer, musician, received services from our agency, and fell on hard times. He began using marijuana when he was 12, alcohol when he was 10, because it was always available. And he said, it's just been so good to know Phoenix has my back. And I said, so what do you think about recovery? He gave a big grin and he said, recovery is freedom. So from a former Marine to say, really his understanding of that is now that recovery is freedom.
Okay.
It means a lot to us.
All right. And the other thing we want to mention is that, is it every Monday night?
Every Monday, 6 to 8, family group, which is open to anybody in the community.
And there's no charge.
Right. We're on Facebook. We're also on the web, www.Phoenix Programs Inc. And check out there on the resources page, there's a special PowerPoint on how early days of recovery, what it has in common with the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. Phoenix Health Programs. Yeah,
Okay.
check it out.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Heather Harlan, it's a pleasure having you here. And don't forget, every Monday evening, if
6 to
you
8.
or someone in your family or someone you know has a problem, it's free of charge. From what
Come
time
on
to what
down.
time?
6 to 8, 90 East Leslie Lane.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And happy
Appreciate it,
4th of
Paul.
July to you
Thank
coming
you.
up.
Thanks.
Tomorrow, the day before 4th of July, we have Joe Manhart on. And she's going to talk about egg safety, taking those deviled eggs to your 4th of July picnic so you don't get sick. Right? Good for you. Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. If you'd like to hear this program again or watch it, go to kbia.org, sign up for a free podcast or podcast.